Can't.
Now we're on, okay. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Board of Selectmen meeting for March 1st, 2018 at 7:30 p.m. Our town administrator could not be with us this evening, so we are going to do it alone. Let's pledge the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Okay.
That was good.
Opening comments. T?
We had a meeting on the 1st of February that was moved until Monday, the 5th of February. A lot of people didn't see it. A lot of people didn't know what went on. I just want, as far as I'm concerned, the Coast Guard Housing Design Development Committee, Peter Barber came up, gave a very good rundown on what they're doing, and I made a motion, Mr. Burrell seconded, Mr. Lombard seconded, for discussion, and we voted to tell the Coast Guard Housing that the Board of Selectmen wanted them to be sold as individual units with zoning restrictions, just to give the town an update, because I'm sure not many people saw that. Thank you.
Richie?
Mr. Chairman, you've talked to the police, fire, and public works, and they're prepared for tomorrow?
Yes. I'm going to read something for you.
Okay.
Do you want me to read it?
Sure.
Okay,
Go right ahead.
all right. So this is from Chief Robert Dwyer. The following steps have been taken in preparation for the upcoming storm event. Adjustments will be made as the storm revolves. Healy Bus Company notified in the event we need to evacuate. Towable pumps are in place. Generators and smaller pumps are available. Fire departments, small boats are ready. The harbor master notified with four residents with small rubberized boats are also available to us. The fire, police, DPW increased manpower for storm duration. National Grid and Gas and Electric contacted. They are on standby to respond. The National Guard contacted 2 half-ton trucks will be stationed in town at 9 a.m. Code Red was sent out to the residents, asking them to prepare for the upcoming storm. And I will remind people, if you have a catch basin in front of your house and it's plugged up, you know, if it's got leaves on it, clean it. Clean the gutters. Do all that. It will help. Atlantic Ambulance notified, requesting ALS coverage. That's advanced life support in case something happens through the high tide cycles. Emergency management trailer moved to the Johnson School in the event we need to open shelter. State police contacted to request assistance if the causeway closes. G&J contacted for additional resources and equipment. The Bear Pond is being pumped down as we speak, so which is huge. The last storm, you have to remember, we couldn't because the pumps were frozen. So we got a good head start on this. And tomorrow at 9 a.m., the police department's emergency management officer will open, and then sandbags can be filled at the DPW. And DCR is contacted about our concerns with closing the causeway. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out to Bob or any one of the on-duty officers. We are planning for the worst-case scenario and hoping for the best. I believe we have a majority of the critical areas covered. That's from Chief Dwyer. Now, the tide cycles, there's going to be 4 cycles of astronomical high tides, high winds, destructive and dangerous, Friday at 11:15 a.m. and Friday at 11:46 p.m. Well, let me remind you that the tide probably won't go back out from 11:15 a.m. It'll probably go out about 3 feet. So, and these things just tend to roll up, as Richie and T and I have witnessed before. So you got to be really careful. Stay away from the ocean. Don't even think about going near it. And then Saturday at noon, 12:05 p.m. and 12:32 a.m. And hopefully we'll be okay. Fox Hill Road, I asked them to get a pump down at Fox Hill Road to keep those catch basins clean. Because they did flood out the last time. So, and hopefully we won't get any snow with it. So that's from Bob Dwyer, the police chief, and we have Mike Halley I guess he's the resident meteorologist, and Bobby Dwyer was telling me there isn't anything this kid doesn't know, or this guy doesn't know about
He does a good job.
about the weather. So we're going to be calling him to find out what we can do. So that's it.
If you can't get a hold of him, just call me. I'm Wally Weatherman.
Oh, okay, all right,
And you want to know.
all right.
Also, I went down to the golf course, and the pumps had been on all morning. So I talked to them down there. They had asked, and they need to have some more Jersey barriers put along the 9th. You know where they park, Richie? Along the 9th, because when the tide comes up and over, it pushes all the rocks onto the golf course. So if we could get 4 or 5 more Jersey barriers, and I walked over with him, and they absolutely need them to keep out all that. So that's,
So everybody just missed this. Pedro, they can't hear us out there. I'm getting text messages. Huh? What's that?
Verizon.
Verizon's out? Okay, what about Comcast? Okay,
Verizon's
Well-
out, not much we can do.
no. Well, okay. Okay. So the opening Richie, any more?
Yeah, the only thing I would back it up with, if you have senior citizens living alongside of you, around, you know of anyone, check on them, please, because we have the whereabouts to get them and take them out of the home and get them in a warm environment and feed them as well, so, and water. So we've got that set up, and especially the seniors, I know they don't want to go at the last minute, but in some of these areas, Willow Road, Fox Hill Road, Castle Road, these are the roads of the flood-prone areas. So I would make sure we keep an eye on your seniors. That's all I have.
Okay. So is Verizon still out, Pedro? What's that? Okay, all right, fine. So Comcast is the only one that we have. All right. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of 2/5/18 and 2/15/18.
So moved.
Second for discussion,
Discussion?
I would like to postpone the February 5th because the wording isn't done right on the last paragraph, which, selling the units with zoning restrictions, selling them as individual units with zoning restrictions.
Okay, would you make that, you want to, okay, you already did. All right, so I'll pass on to Mary
Okay,
Ellen.
pass on, then I'll second.
All right.
We can pass down them, right? We can vote them in now.
All right, okay.
I'm with you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Richie, you're okay with it? Okay.
I want to remind you that I voted no on that.
Right.
You know that.
On this?
On this, yeah?
On the minutes?
No.
I voted yes for the minutes, but not on the original paragraph. I voted no.
Oh, okay, yes.
On the
Yeah,
original vote.
right. Yes, I know that.
Motion passed 2-1 with Mr. Lombard voting no.
Right, okay. No. I'm getting text messages left and right. That's, if you hear a cricket, that's my text, and people from Verizon, obviously, there's no sound, so if anybody out there has Comcast and they have friends with Verizon, give them a call and let them know that Verizon's out. So, not much we can do about it. It's Verizon's issue. Okay, so, the minutes are done. So, obviously, now I want to go right to Rob Raymond, and he is from Zobrio, the company we use for our bookkeeping systems up here in the town. And he's going to go over a couple of things that, what the system does for us. Your microphone's working. You can pull it. Yep, there you go.
Sure, let me, yes, I'm one of the principals at Zobrio, and we provide for the town of Nahant your real estate billing, your personal property billing, your collection system. We have a cash management system.
Right.
The general ledger, accounts payable systems as well. So those are an integrated suite of systems that primarily work here centrally at Town Hall. And we have an upgrade that the town has purchased, that the town is moving forward with, and the date to go live is July 1st. This upgrade, although it is centered in the accounting office, one of the benefits, and I think this is important, is that what we're trying to do in terms of recommending how to improve the operations here is to work hard to eliminate redundant data entry. So let me give you two key examples of how we could do that.
Okay.
One, today, remote departments will manually create their expenses, those bills that need to be paid. They'll put them on a spreadsheet, they might manually enter them, they'll then get handed over for someone in the accounting office to enter. So there's the ability to push that out to the remote departments and give them the ability to enter that data and have it flow into the accounting office. That's one piece that we're working with the accountant's office on with the new upgrade.
So, let me just stop you there. So that means the remote departments, that means like the police, fire. So each one of them will have a license to put their own vouchers in.
In essence, that's the ability, and to be able to look up information. So
Okay.
they're not relying on reports that by the normal process are delayed when they get them. So
Right.
there's an improvement that we've all collectively worked on. That's expenses. On the revenue side, there's the ability to do the exact same thing. So that when money comes into the town, whether it comes into, someone for a building permit, a fire permit, what have you, instead of that being manually created, manually receipted to the payer, there's the ability to enter that data directly at the source and have it flow through the system. One of the observations we've had is that in the collector treasurer system, a lot of that work is being entered by them centrally, and there'd be an ability to ease that workflow if it was pushed out to the departments. So that's one of the things that we've talked to with the treasurer on the treasurer collector side.
So that would be the receipts?
Correct.
Okay.
So I guess my point being that we're at a point here where I think our recommendation is for the town of Nahant to start to work to decentralize input so that we can save time. The town is growing, staff is challenged, and this is a way to eliminate this redundant data entry. The last piece that I think is significant is reconciliation. Today, there's the reconciliation of cash between treasurer and accountant, and the reconciliation of cash from the treasurer to the bank.
Right.
And the bank piece is an area that is not being utilized today, automated bank reconciliation. So that's another area that we'd like to concentrate on because it's time consuming. So, the town has done very well for a long time, and yet it's grown. Transaction volumes have grown. These are some ways to take advantage of the software so that you can spread that out, both expenses and revenue. So those would be as an overview, the kind of general recommendations we would have.
Okay, so what percentage are we working at with your, we already own your system,
Correct.
and we have already paid for it.
Correct.
So what percentage would you say that we're working at with it?
Kind of taking a shot at it, but maybe 80%.
Okay, so...
In some areas more than others.
Okay, so we need to use it, I mean, we paid for it, obviously, so we need to use the whole thing fully.
Correct.
The bank reconciliation, obviously, is a big issue. Because I know that when she's doing something in there, and if somebody comes in and bothers her, you know, it's an easy way to, and there's people up here constantly, you know. So, I remember watching Kathy Famulari go through the same thing, and my sister-in-law Joni go through the same thing, where they'd have to stop, get out of that system, go into another system to get to print something, to give to somebody, and that really can mess you up.
Yeah, and adding on to that, if you're spending a lot of your time re-entering data,
Right.
you're not spending the time to do the things that you're uniquely qualified to do, like the reconciliation.
Right.
So if that rekeying in of data is being done where the source is, you know, my example on the revenue, where the money comes in, and you're reviewing it and accepting it and not having to rekey it, you've got more time to address, taxpayers coming in and do the reconciliation work. So we're trying to eliminate that kind of rote mechanical work.
Right.
You know, let's eliminate that, and that's going to free up more time to do the things that your
Right.
professionals are here to do.
Right, okay. I mean,
This is more like a bureau-based budget. We're centrally located, but here's your budget. It's all yours. You take care of it.
Right.
And I was going to ask about the checkup on that, but the checkup would be you go onto the system and you have other people checking on it, because there are checks and balances here.
Absolutely.
But
And I'll
to
give
throw
you a good example would be if I'm fire department
Yep.
and someone comes in for a fire permit, I'm responsible for that money.
Right.
And I create what is referred to as a turnover report. It's an official document that I say, I'm responsible for this money, and I'm going to hand it to the treasurer. And the treasurer's not going to accept that money until they say, well, I'm counting checks, cash, whatever the payment type was, and I have this report. I'll sign off on it because you're giving it to me. That operation is manual now. If the fire department entered it into the system, created that official report automatically, and the treasurer accepted it, well, right then, a copy of that goes to accounting. Because accounting's responsible to say, I know that the remote department gave you $10, and at the end of the week, I'm looking for that $10 to come to accounting. So there's that triangulation check and balance
Correct.
that is today manual and tomorrow could be automated. Does that
Yes.
make sense?
Yes.
And we pay for that.
Yes, you own the system.
We own the system, okay.
The only thing you would need, is training if that's needed, or extra seats if
Okay,
that's needed.
right, and we
But
still-
you own the software functionality.
We still have training on the books. with
You've
you
got
guys.
training on the books, in particular on the accounting side and pushing that out to the departments
Okay.
for their vouchers.
Okay, so that's, right. And I noticed that you wrote in an email, and this will also allow the town to take advantage of our, and I'm not a bookkeeper, he worked for the state, he was an auditor, so he knows a little bit more about this than me. This will also allow the town to take advantage of our advanced audit trail tracking for fraud prevention.
Correct. So here's a good, you'll absolutely, that fire department example, well, and not that anyone we know of in the town of Nahant would do anything wrong, but if I were taking that money in and I had a manual receipt, well, I could make that receipt out for $8 and pocket 2 in my example of 10. If we capture the information at the source, if the way to give a receipt is through the system, well, the system knows it was $10. And if I am trying to do something illegal and I go to change or delete that, the system alerts. One, it tells me why, which maybe I made a mistake, and two, your designated professionals, department heads, can look at it and say, wait a minute, what happened? This was $10 and it got changed to $8 by this person at this exact time. So that's an example of where, when this gets pushed out, you're no longer relying on these manual processes where there's still cash that's being paid. So that's an example of that reference.
And let alone the potential for a lost piece of paper.
Right.
Now that's gone.
And that's more what would happen. And then that becomes a reconciliation issue that takes someone weeks, perhaps, to figure out.
Oh, sure.
And now you're behind. So it is a snowball.
Right, okay. Richie? Anything? Okay, all right. Thanks. I mean,
there's something wrong between the treasurer and we're not reconciling something. Something's gotta get, I mean, are we gonna have, this is what, March 2nd? Mm-hmm. We're gonna have the same problem in July?
I would hope not. I could offer this. I would be happy, complimentary as a, to come in myself and sit down, for a 4-hour session with both departments, work out a plan and say, hey, here's our plan. I'd be happy to do
you want
that.
to,
I think, excuse me,
go ahead, Richie.
you wanna talk?
No, I just started saying, you
Let me know.
contact me and I'll set it up. But, go ahead.
That's great. That's very good. I think, I don't know what the cost of your program was, but that would be excellent.
Well, I'd be, let's move forward.
And then you should tie us in on the end result.
Right.
Because I don't want to be sitting here July 2nd and we're hearing and discussing the same problem. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
That's very nice, thank you.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah,
That's
no,
fine.
I'd be happy
So,
to do that. That would.
just get a hold of me and you have my email and then we'll
Yep.
set it up. That's
Yeah,
all.
that'd be great.
That's
And
all I was gonna
we'll
say,
come up
Richie.
with a
I
plan.
apologize for interrupting.
Well, get them both together and have them
Yeah.
meet with you and you can sit in the meeting or one of us can.
No, we don't need, so they can, I don't.
That's fine, the
They
chairman
need
can do
to
that.
sit down and train. I mean,
I'd be happy to sit down, come up with a plan, and provide that plan to you.
Stop all the other stuff that's going on here, all right?
Yeah. Good?
all right, thanks.
All
Thanks,
right.
Rob. Where are you driving back to now?
Back to Situate, to batten down the hatches. Yeah. Like Nahant, where we get hit too.
You get it worse though, I think.
Yeah, well, luckily I'm not facing the open ocean.
Right.
All right, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Rob.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate your offer.
All right. Okay, citizens forum. Anybody want out there, you guys want to speak?
No, we just couldn't, we watched the Bruins game, I couldn't hear the audio.
Well, Verizon's out,
I thought it was dead.
so if you have Verizon, you're
Bruins
done.
were tied, so I figured.
All right, so they don't want to speak. Okay, you sure?
Just one, we couldn't hear it on TV, that's all.
Oh, okay. All right, so now we're going to go to project reports. I'll read it. The town has hired Attorney Richard Nyland as a special counsel in order to review and make recommendations related to the DEP appeal of the Conservation Commission approval of the hard design revetment project proposed for the 40-step beach area. Attorney Nyland has provided us with the attached assessments of the details of the DEP appeal and our options for going forward. I just want to remind people that the DEP has superseded our order of conditions, like they did it at Northeastern a couple of years ago, and they want us to do a soft solution, which won't work. And we have Dan Coughlin, our engineer, working on this to try to get them to do it the right way. And it has been suggested by Attorney Nyland that the only option that appears to be consistent with the goals and objectives of the town is number 3, and that's to design the hardscape that we need to get the permit so we don't lose the FEMA grant, and with a variance. So we're gonna try to go for a variance with this. And that new amendment that we have going forward might help us with that. So that's pretty much that on that end of it. Anybody want to speak on it? Richie? Nope. Okay. The next one would be the wharf project. It looks like they had some issues down there. The engineer did not do his job properly, and they had to take the cofferdam, the sheathing out. Justin would probably know a little bit more about that than me. They hit ledge. The engineer said they were going to hit it at 10 feet. They hit it at 6 feet, so they had to pull the cofferdams out. So what they're going to do there is basically they poured 2 concrete slabs today. One yesterday, one today, Richie? I think it was? Yeah.
They've got five pours.
Okay.
They've got 2 done already.
Right.
And then once they fit the third, and then they can put in the end,
Right.
and beginning. So,
And the others are going to be...
a very good sign.
Yeah, prefab. So it looks like they're moving along with that. It looks good. I talked to the guy down there yesterday. Richie talked to him also. I think that he could have...
Well, they really put the rebar,
Right.
rebar, the steel, in that concrete slab. And they're putting dividers, I believe, in between each slab they're pouring. They're like 10-foot slabs. And that would give during the cold weather or hot weather, the expansion. That's what those for.
Yeah.
That's a good sign.
I'm sure the 3 of us are down there every day, I know I am. Progress is going on.
Well, that helps.
And that, yeah, well, probably, I don't know.
Okay, so I'm gonna make a suggestion to people if they can hear. I know Verizon can't, but if you could, you might want to send a letter to the DEP asking them why they want to go with the soft solution on the superseding order of conditions. It doesn't make sense. It's our town, and we really don't want to lose the roadway in front of Peter Rogal's house because he's liable to fall in the water. So we don't want to lose that roadway, all kidding aside, because there's gas, electric, there's all kinds of water, sewer under there, and we just can't afford to lose that because the DEP doesn't want to give us the true order of conditions that we need. You can ask, I will get you their address and the woman that you need to write to, and I would suggest that everybody write to them and say, look, we object to this, we want it done, and see how far we get.
When we put it on the TV and the computer screen.
Yeah. Good idea. Good idea.
Name,
Okay.
address, person.
All right. Town Hall office hours is next. We'll continue that. I think that we've talked to the ladies, and I think we're okay with that for now, and we don't need to speak about it. Do you want to, T?
No, I'm for postponing it for a while.
Okay, yeah, all right. Richie? All right, okay, we're fine with it. All right. We have the town administrator's report. Obviously, he's not here,
Oh, the liquor license.
so we can't really go through that.
3C and D we can.
Yes, C and D we can. We have to approve some liquor licenses. Okay.
I move the Board of Selectmen vote to approve one-day all alcohol liquor license, for Nahant Veterans Association, Evacuation Day, 3/17/18, from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Do the next one, Rich.
Yeah, was that D?
I move the Board of Selectmen vote to approve the annual YMCA 5K Stride On 5/19/18 from 8:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Life Saving Station.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Old business, we have none. New business?
If I may, on old
Oh,
business.
okay, sure.
Due to the February 15th meeting, I move that the Town Council draft a letter of opposition from the Board of Selectmen to the Northeastern University for any further expansion. This letter is going to be sent initially to the Chairman of the Board of Trustees at Northeastern University and the President of Northeastern.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Nice job.
Okay. D-
I have one more.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I move that the speed limit signs be added to Nahant Road from the police station through Swallow Cave Road.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Discussion,
Oh, discussion.
please? If you go down, I happen to be driving, so this goes way back. This is before any of this northeastern stuff started. You go way back to when the chief of police came up with this beautiful study on putting up speed limit signs. I fought like you-know-what to get them down by Castle Road and to get Fox Hill Road. Fox Hill Road has a very nice speed limit sign, 20 miles an hour. Castle Road, 25 miles an hour, or whatever it is. They're stopping people who are driving there. So, when you're coming home, people, drive down Nahant Road, get to around Nahant Associates, look out your window and you'll see a speed limit sign. Go from there all the way up to Swallows Cave Road. There are no more signs. That's ridiculous. We should have signs. I had 7 complaints, 6 from emails, of people speeding down Nahant Road. It's absolutely absurd. There should be signs there. And one more thing under discussion, if you go down past here and take a right onto Wharf Street, right in front of you is 20 miles an hour sign, but there's nothing on Nahant Road. So I move, Mr. Chairman, that we take care of that immediately. We got to stop these people from speeding. Everybody. Probably us once in a while, too.
Yeah.
It's absurd. They're all around town, and all of a sudden, and I just did it out of curiosity last week, and I was like, oh my goodness. So I think we should have that done immediately. I so move.
All right, and further discussion, they have to put speed limit signs leaving Nahant. There's none. So coming into Nahant, you know it's 25 miles an hour, but Peter Barber had come to me down the garage and said there's no speed limit signs going out of Nahant on Nahant Road, so
The one across from Nahant Associates is the only one. going out
leaving.
of
So,
Nahant.
right, so people don't know, so,
Oh, there's one up by Little Nahant, too. I see it every morning.
okay, all
But
right.
that's it, too.
right. Okay, all those in favor of having more signs? Richie, go ahead.
Well, I think we should have the police suspend until we get the signs up. I mean, no one knows the speed limit. I mean,
Oh.
how can we give them a ticket?
Right, and,
Say, what is the speed limit, you know what I
Right.
mean?
yeah.
I think we should suspend those roads, you know, from enforcing any speed limit until we get the signs up.
Right, well, a reasonable speed limit.
Well, yeah, I'm not gonna say they're going 100 miles an hour and I give them a
Right.
ticket.
Well, down by Nahant Associates, it says 25 miles an hour, and that's Nahant Road. So
I wanna
I
let you
would
know
think
that,
25 would carry all the way up to Swallows Cave.
I wanna let you know, a lot of cities surrounding us, Melrose, Salem, they're moving this, speed limit to 25 and 20 miles an hour in the inner city.
Yeah.
All the way up, to Drake it, I see it, so that people, they're just, I think we gotta slow people down,
Okay.
So, and then, once the Public Works, we get a new superintendent in there, and, hopefully that will be one of the objectives.
And I have one more, Mr. Chairman.
Hopefully vote on this.
Yeah. Do you want to talk on it, or you want to vote on it?
I would like to.
Is this,
I would like to, we have an environmental, well, let's have town council do this. I would like town council to send a letter to the EPA requesting a study of the waters around by Pea Island, actually all around up there, because 30 years of pumping water out there without an EPA review, to me, is shame on Nahant. Shame on us for waiting. I think we should have a review of the ocean waters out there. And I did a little bit, and I'm not an environmentalist. An environmental compliance audit They call it a multimedia audit, identifying and auditing all environmental media such as air, water, waste, etc. I think we should request, have town council send that to the EPA from us, requesting that they do that.
Okay.
Can we,
We have to vote on the first one, though,
can we
the
vote on
speed
the
limit.
speed limit?
Oh, did I jump ahead?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh.
That's all right. I've done that before, too.
Speed
So,
limit.
all those in favor of the speed limit?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, so now this next motion is to have the EPA do a water quality test. We already do the water quality out at 40 Steps, all the different beaches, but you want them out.
Look, I was born and brought up on Pea Island in that outside area.
Yeah.
I went out there many times. I did some fishing out there. I want to know what's different now than it's had 30 years of pumping water into it.
Okay.
It's
You know something? I'm going to make a phone call tomorrow.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I want you to realize that in checking, Northeastern has never received a permit for that outfall and taking water out of the ocean. They have never received a permit. They never applied for a permit. So, I mean, that's record. So we're gonna have to go after them for that.
Okay.
We should have the town council, in the body of that letter, ask them to apply for the permits that they haven't applied for in the last 50 years.
Okay. I haven't seen it. I know that some of the people around here have looked on, you know. Okay. They have a permit? Northeastern does.
They don't have a discharge permit because they weren't required to have one because they fall under the million gallon.
Right.
He should actually say that.
Do you, come on, why don't you come up here, Justin? Sit up here and tell us.
Yeah, Justin?
This is
do you mind
Justin.
repeating that?
Sure.
Thank you, because you can't hear.
I've read the whole permit today. It's 80 pages long, and they did apply for everything they were supposed to apply for in 2008, 2009, 2010. It's all building up to when they did the work. So, and also they don't need a NIPSES permit because they're under 1 million gallon for discharge. They only need that if they go over 1 million gallons.
Right. So here's the other thing. As far as their permits, they don't have a permit. They're going to need a permit to pull those extra pipes out that they already have there. The pipes that they left there, they need a permit to pull those out, and they're applying for it now. I sat on the Conservation Commission when we gave them the permits to do what they wanted to do out there in 2012, I think. And they pretty much didn't tell us that they were finished because they weren't finished, and they got a certificate of compliance for it, which really should have been revoked. But anyway, and I'm going to just bring something up, and I'm not defending anybody, but what I'm going to tell you is that whole MEPA review. I'm the chairman of the Board of Selectmen, and I have to say this because I believe in just telling the truth. A certified letter was sent to me, to the town hall, and telling us that they were going to have a MEPA review a month before they actually applied for it. So they're not as guilty as everybody thinks they are. They did inform us. They did inform me. However, I've still yet to see it. It was never given to me, all right? Which is an internal problem up here. And we
Still puts the town of Nahant in a bad spot.
I understand that, but I just want to clear the air on that. They didn't try to pull the wool over our eyes on that, because we would have got it out at a selectmen's meeting.
That's not neither here nor there. I mean, we're at the point we're at now.
I understand that, but I had to clarify that only because I think it's only right to be truthful with everybody, that they didn't, I don't think there was any ill intent on
Oh, absolutely.
their part.
That's why I wanted to talk about the permit, because I read it. I had no
If
problem.
I may, gentlemen, I'll call the motion, because we went way sideways. I just want the EPA to come down and look into stuff.
Okay,
Can we vote on that, then we can
Yes.
talk about whatever we
all
want
right,
to.
so, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion carries. So I will call the EPA tomorrow, and I know exactly who to call. and we'll have them do a water quality index out at Pea Island.
Well, I want town council still to draft a letter, because Richie's right, we gotta put his stuff in it too.
Oh, yeah, sure.
We
Yeah,
want the
absolutely.
letter, not just one person calling.
Yep.
And, no offense.
No, I know. I just happen to know somebody from the EPA, so, and I'll ask him what the procedure should be.
The gentleman wants to talk.
Mr. Walt, Christoph, yeah.
Thank you, Chris Wald. Just have a question. Thank you for making the motion. Do we have any information about the baseline water quality from 30 years ago that we can compare against?
Probably not.
Right.
Okay.
But if there's a chance that certain things are not growing there, there's something on the bottom of the ocean, I need to know.
Sure.
No,
I'm
no,
just
I-
curious. It was just
Thank you for that.
an innocent question, whether we have a baseline, because that would be really interesting
Probably
to
not.
compare with.
Probably not, but if the water's a lot warmer than it is somewhere else, why, what happened,
Great.
again,
Thank you very
I
much.
really want to know.
Appreciate it.
Is this public now?
What's that?
Can people hear us?
For Comcast,
Not only Comcast, Verizon they can't.
Well, you only talk on...
What's the matter, don't you like the Comcast people?
No, I love the Comcast people.
Well, then speak.
You can speak, what do you want to say? Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
This is being taped.
Yeah, it's being taped
This will be played next week
over and over again.
over and over again, so. Peter,
So-
you can speak.
In case you got insomnia.
It's about 50% Comcast, 50% Verizon, so.
Thank you very much. I forgot I was on.
So, I think we're on the right track. We have, we are working on it. I know you guys are. I went to the meeting at the school, by the way, and it was very well organized. They're right on track. They know what they're doing, and we're going to need all the help we can. I mean, the Board of Selectmen are going to need all the help we can in the town. So, I applaud them for that.
and if I may, and this isn't a motion,
Yep, go ahead.
I think we should consider some liaison somehow as a board with the group. I don't know if that sets up a bad precedent for every other group that comes in, but this is so important to me that I really think we should look into that.
I think
Richie?
you're right, T, but we need to ask the attorneys.
Sure.
Well, whichever attorney law firm that we choose. We're in the process of choosing a law firm. There's two in the running for this whole project, and they're highly into the environment, and they're very good. They're very, very good firms. And we just discussed, and we got the proposals here, and we're just reviewing, and then we're probably going to vote, and then we can know that I was talking to Mark Cullinan, and we'll keep you advised as we proceed. I know you've got another side of it that's going to proceed as well, but, it's going to be two sets of law firms going after this thing, so, we got to keep you informed and vice versa. And I think the chairman should be the designated.
I remembered what I wanted to talk about.
Let Richie finish first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry.
You should be, as we go through this, either one of us, he might be because he'd be the chairman come May 1st, so he might be the one that.
Do you want to be the liaison? You want to go to the meetings?
He could be, well, it's just to keep everybody informed of what we're doing, the board, and our law firm, what we choose. And Mark Cullen, from that, he's the vice president of that group. And he might be the one to coordinate their side.
Well, their group, I guess, they're working under the, they're working on their own, but they've joined the Preservation Trust for financial reasons, I believe, so, and that's actually a good thing. I mean, the Preservation Trust has done a lot of good stuff. We've designated, the Board of Selectmen actually gave them a piece of land on Forbush Road, and they go around and they take land. So, they're good at that.
Has a question.
Go ahead, Christoph, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Chris Wald again. I just have a question. You mentioned that you are contemplating to get legal advice on this matter. Working in medicine, I understand that we doctors, we subspecialize, and I think lawyers do the same thing. Is there any particular angle that you're aiming at, environmental, anything else? Or what are you trying, if you feel comfortable
Well,
commenting on this?
I really don't. I think that and we have to be very careful what we say, and I can tell you right now, I'm not gonna tell you what we're doing.
Understood.
Because that would be a huge mistake. I don't want that to get out there. I just think that the Board of Selectmen need to work for the town, and in the town, we are working in the town's best interest, and we are all for, not having anything out there. That's our goal, all right?
We can tell you
There's
this.
where is she, please? I'm speaking, all right? There's two aspects to this. There's land and there's environment, and that's pretty much it. So that's what we're looking at. And I really don't want to delve into this too much, Richie. I'm not going to, and I'm gonna cut it off. Don't. Right. Then don't. And I'm going to cut it off now because I really don't want to get going on law firms and this, that, and the other thing.
If I may.
We have several law firms that have looked at this stuff, and we're working towards a goal to get the best bang. T?
It was important to me, for the whole town to know, to get these things out and started. It's very important. The traffic one just blew me away because I've lived here all my life. It's like, wow. But really, take your time and drive up. You'll go, geez. If you find one, let me know. If you find a speed limit sign somewhere up here. But I think this is as far as I really wanted to go tonight, because the legal stuff is... We're surrounded with legal stuff, but I appreciate it all. Thank you.
But they should know that these firms that we're looking at are environmental people. And they're very high in that area. And that's two great firms. The problem that we need to adjust and see from this side is money. The budget is extremely tight. We're up against it, and we've got to figure out in the board, along with the FinCom and the town meeting, and which avenue and which approach we're going to go for this. That's from this side of it, and not anyone else. And then we'll keep you apprised exactly what's proceed, but it's not going to divulge legal update every week or every 2 weeks, you know what I'm saying? It's just, we got a ways to go here. And it's gonna come down to legal. You know that, I know that.
And one final thing, because I'll be chairman in 2 months, but I started on the 15th telling the whole town, this is to be full transparency. If he said, it means nothing. It's gotta come from the full board. And this is Nahant at its best, as we all know. So we're going to do this right, because we have to. Thank you.
Keep them entertained for a minute.
I'm not entertaining anyone.
I have to get a piece of paper.
Anybody want to say something? Because you texted me. Can you come up and fill in the time while we're waiting? The chairman took a 5-minute recess without telling us. Here it is.
No, he's coming.
I needed this. Sorry.
Oh, town hall hours.
All right. So I think that we're pretty much at the end. I mean, if you want to...
Well, no, I gotta make this motion here.
Yep. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right.
The warrant.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the Board of Selectmen vote to set the warrant for fiscal year 2019, the annual town meeting, scheduled for April 30th. So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second?
Okay, for discussion. There's a couple of flaws in the warrant. And Article 29 has to be redone. I was with the Finance Committee last night, and we want to know, there's a couple of things in here that I don't know where they came from, and I'll get a hold of the fire chief tomorrow. The automatic sprinkler systems for lodging of boarding houses, the multiple dwelling units. So there was a bunch of different questions that were brought up last night. I think that they're pretty good with the budget and the salaries, but we'll go through that later.
Right, 29 has to be changed.
We also have the bylaw, the stretch energy code that's on there that looks good. And that's it. So we will be opening the warrant again to fix it.
Why don't we just leave it open, and I'll pass it until we get these corrected, and then we can vote it in next week.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna have a meeting next Thursday night, by the way. We're gonna have back-to-back meetings, Thursday nights, this week and next week. And, so we'll leave that open for now, so we can, work with the FinCom on the warrant. We have an executive session meeting coming up at approximately 9 p.m. The gentleman's not here, but we can adjourn to go into executive session.
We have a couple other things.
Yeah. Well, we did that, the DPW Director Search recommendation. Well, there was a couple of recommendations on here.
There's a full one that he put, that the town administrator put in right there.
Okay, then, if you want to go through that, go ahead. Are we prepared to hire him tonight?
No, I would like to postpone that, but I wanted the people to know that that was on the agenda.
What,
DPW Director
that.
Search
that's
recommendation.
number 5B?
I'd like to table that till next meeting.
Okay, let's
If you
go
don't
through it
mind.
then. I don't have it. 5A? I don't have it. Okay, that's fine. That's fine by me. So we're going to table the DPW. Richie, is that okay with you?
Everybody? Thanks.
Richie interviewed, I interviewed one guy, he interviewed a couple of guys, and you want to obviously interview,
I didn't interview anyone.
so you want to interview them?
No.
You don't? Okay,
No, I just want to put it on hold for a week.
okay.
Well,
All right.
T, you need to interview those two, the two final
They're
candidates.
the only candidates, so you should probably
You need
sit down
to
with them.
interview. Just a minute, whatever you...
Okay.
Wow.
Okay,
Next Thursday night before the meeting or something.
sure.
Just have one of the secretaries set the...
Set it up, sure.
All right. Okay, so that sounds good.
Charles Kelly Scholarship.
Okay, yes, the
Oh.
closing announcements?
These are just announcements, right?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. That's all yours, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Okay, so we have the Charles Kelly, under the closing announcement, we have the Charles Kelly Scholarship. It's due 4/6/18. See the website or go to the town hall to ask about it. It's a $1,000 Charlie Kelly Scholarship, and I believe Richie knows a lot more about it. You want to speak on it?
Well, yeah, it's just an annual, say, a scholarship in memory of Selectman Charles Kelly, and it's $5,000. And I might suggest that there's other scholarships on our website for students going to high school and college, and it's for a couple grand. It all adds up. So if you have time, you should apply for the scholarships.
Excuse me, Richie, it's $1,000, right?
$1,000.
$1,000.
Yeah.
I meant,
And last year, you made it 1,000.
Right,
I
yes.
remember that
It was
because it was
500.
500.
500, yeah.
Good, that was a good move.
Okay, and we also have the American Legion Scholarship, and that's due 4/13/18. And again, you can go to the website and get that information. That's the easiest way to do it, and I encourage every person that's going into college to apply for these.
you'll pay for your books or something. There's about 15 scholarships on that page, so
Yeah,
it's worth it. These are the date sequence, the first two that are due right away.
all right. Okay, so,
Mr. Chairman, I move that we go in executive session and not to return to public session.
okay, roll call vote for that. All those,
I'll second it.
okay. We need a roll call vote.
Taylor, yes.
Richie?
Lombard, yes.
And Baril, yes. We are adjourned and going from public session into executive session. Yes, okay, so it's to discuss strategy with respect to contract negotiations with non-union personnel
And litigation.
and litigation as well. To discuss strategy with respect to litigation, since an open meeting may have detrimental effect on the position of the town, if so declared by the chairman. Thank you. Pedro, shut it down.